For them, it's about self-preservation. So I need you to understand that. For them, it's about self-preservation. But what happens whenever you have the individuals who have the same skin as you, right, that have worked tirelessly to move against you, that have worked tirelessly for your enemy, to hide things from you, to keep you dumbed down, to pull you down every single chance when you try to rise up? What about that enemy? Oh, but we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that today. Because I got to put you guys on notice. Because you guys don't understand what's happening right now, the times that we're living in. You see these ancestors, these first one ancient ancestors, you see when they see you contributing to the fall of your people, it's a certain type of ass whipping that comes with that. It's a certain type of retribution that's going to come with that when you work for your enemy. It's a certain type of place that they got for you when that punishment comes down on you. And believe it or not, my people, that punishment is coming down on a lot of people right now, even as we speak. It's happening right now, even as we speak. You see, as the frequencies get higher, and they're getting so much higher, I'm going to tell you what's happening. The people that wasn't on the frequencies that they were supposed to be on, they're going cuckoo. That includes people that look like us. And let me explain something to you. What they don't realize is that since they have participated in such actions, they have karma. They're coming right back here again. They're not inheriting anything related to 5D Earth. 5D Earth doesn't even want that type of energy on that planet because the frequency is very high. And I know a lot of you guys are sitting up here listening to people who think that they really got it down, and they're misleading you. Because they got you thinking that a particular way of thinking is going to be acceptable. Well, I can assure you, your asses will stay right here where you're at. Because you haven't evolved past a certain particular way of thought. The first thing you have to do is get rid of that hatred that's in your heart. That's the first thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get rid of that hatred that's in your heart towards that which birthed you. You're going to have to get rid of that hatred that's in your heart towards your mother. You're going to have to get rid of that hatred that's in your heart towards the divine feminine energy. I didn't say particular male or female. I'm talking about energy. Men can possess both divine feminine and divine masculine. And no, they don't have to be gay or trans anything to possess this energy for those who are in the know. Because I know some of you guys get this shit confused when I mention divine feminine. Y'all be getting caught up in feminine shit. You guys are ignorant as hell. Ignorant. Let me keep going. Let me explain to you clearly what the divine feminine energy is. It is nature. It is love. Now, I want you guys to take a hard look around you in your communities and look at how many people that are fighting like tooth and nail to not show that energy, that fight against it, that has waged war against it every chance they get. You see, the original indigenous tribes already understood because they were already in direct alignment with the matriarch energy. This is the reason why we even have the ability and the capacity to love thy enemy, even when your enemy can't do it for himself. We're the most forgiving and the most loving, right? I'm explaining to you where that comes from. It comes from the fact that you are governed, whether you want to admit to it or not, by the divine feminine energy. But here's what happens. You decide that you're going to move against that, and you're actually moving against yourself. So every single time that, I'm going to say this to the brothers, and I want them to be very clear. Every single time you call your woman a bitch, you call your woman a hoe, you degrade her every chance you get, you do everything that you can to oppose her, you still don't seem to understand that you're really just simply opposing a part of who you are. Therefore, you will bring curses down upon your life. You're doing it naturally to yourself. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that you deal with the most ignorant, but what we're supposed to do as human beings is educate one another. That's what it was when I was coming up. We educated one another. And if those could not be educated, then you leave them alone and you keep it pushing. But you don't go out of your way to try to disrupt that energy, because it will topple you. It will topple you. And that's exactly what's happening now. Which brings me to the video that this young lady that I posted up on my Instagram channel. If you guys go look at the last video that I posted, the young lady was talking about there's a lot of attacks on indigenous women in Missouri. She thought that it was white men. And see, we always blame these white folks for everything, right? We don't never have any accountability for the shit that we do. I'm not saying that they don't do shit, but you have to learn how to properly discern situations. And then on top of that, you're also going to have to learn how to come to a certain acceptance about how things really are versus how you want them to be. Okay? Listen. If the black women are the most protected, or the most unprotected woman on the planet, whose fault is that? Let me take fault away. Let me take that away, because when I go there, everybody wants to come on board and they want to do this, that, and the third. And I'm not going to take away the responsibility. I'm saying let's speak the facts. If they are the most unprotected, where are the brothers at to protect them? Where they at? Everybody wants to get on board and want to talk about other shit. They want to talk about this and they want to talk about that, but they don't want to have any accountability. And I'm not saying that black women don't have accountability for the shit they do. I'm not saying that. And I want to be clear, because I know some of y'all love to throw that up in my face because you don't understand where I'm going with this. Okay? But it needs to be understood that if it is seen that women are not protected, then we become open targets. However, let's talk about this situation with Missouri, because I'm going somewhere with this. When that young lady was talking, I started channeling her energy. And then as I was channeling, I go into a meditation. And I'm starting to look into what's really going on behind the scenes with this situation. And lo and behold, the individuals that are actually doing all this murdering and killing are people that look like us. Let me tell you why that is. The frequencies that we're currently on right now is making a lot of them go crazy because they still harbor that hatred in their heart. And I want you guys to understand the magnitude of how far envy and jealousy can go. I don't really think that any of us have really taken that into consideration. Women, you really need to take the time out and really think about this. But also, let me say this. You also need to raise your vibrational frequency. You wouldn't be subject to that if your frequency was high. Because the ones that they're taking out are the ones at the frequency that are low. And unfortunately, during this time period, I already told you was going to see a lot of carnage. I already warned you about these men out here and how they were going to come for the women. I already told you about the witches are now in place. I done told you about the sentinels, these damn things that are in place that are now coming on board. And what did I say was going to happen? I said, you're going to start seeing people drop like flies left and right. This is what's happening. People are dropping like flies left and right because they're not operating on a certain particular frequency. And I also said this is going to be random. Because see, it's not happening with just women and their younger women. It's happening with older women. It's happening with elderly women. It's happening with children. It's random. When we talk about a purge, the purge is going to come by any means necessary. So even though I would like to see justice come to the individuals that are out here doing this, which they do have a horrible death coming to them, but even though that they certain things have to play itself out because the cosmic contracts are up, and now things must manifest as they must manifest. So a lot of you guys are going to be watching. A lot of you guys are going to be aware. But you damn sure need to be aware of the frequencies, because there are a lot of people out here that are starting to lose their mind because they did not raise their vibrational frequency to where it's supposed to be. This is why this is happening. I already told you the war started. I already told y'all this, and you're going to continue to keep seeing people fall dead to the wayside. But we need to have that discussion about that hatred. I'm getting wind. I'm getting whispers in the air about there are groups out here of men now that are looking to attack women every chance they get. They're out here listening to Kevin Samuels and shit, and they still don't even fully understand what that man's message really is about. But they're out here listening to Kevin Samuels and thinking some kind of way that their broke asses fit inside that category when it ain't got nothing to do with their broke asses at all. They don't fit in that category about the shit that Kevin Samuels talk about. But some kind of way they think they fit in that category when they do not. So you got that shit going on. These delusional ass niggas out here, okay, that are broke as hell, don't have no ability to provide for a woman, getting on one with women, not realizing their position in their fucking place. Right? So they out here listening to Kevin Samuels thinking that, oh, I fit in this category. Nigga, you ain't even making $50,000 a year. How you fit in that category? You got at least be at 100 stacks. And he only broke down the percentages on that shit. So what the hell is really going on with you 30,000 niggas and you $25,000 niggas and you $10,000 to $15,000 niggas? Are you serious right now? How you think you fit in that category? And women, you don't give no niggas like that no pass for shit. Now, y'all can come together, I guess, and work on some shit. Nothing wrong with that. But y'all tripping in the mind and shit with that extra shit. You tripping. Just like the woman out here who's got 50 fucking kids out here that's looking for a damn millionaire to take care of her ass. It's the same delusional ass shit. It's all delusional. Both of this shit is delusional. What I'm saying to you is, when it comes to these groups that are coming in, that are talking, that are making these comments and shit like that, they have no position to be making any comments of the sort. None. And the main ones that are making the comments are the ones that are broke as hell. The main ones. And they're jealous and they're envious. Period. Now, it's a hard pill to swallow when you really think about it. And it's sad when you really think about it. And it's hurtful when you really take the time out and you really think about it. Because you don't ever want to look at your own people as one that is actually trying to take you right on up out of here. Especially when it comes to our men. But even I had to come to a conclusion, and I had to look at some things here, and some shit ain't right. I'm not speaking from a place of not wanting to take accountability, so make sure you understand what this queen is saying here. Okay? Let's be clear. I know how y'all love to throw that up in my face and it's not going to work. What I'm talking about here is addressing the real issues at hand. It's been patriarch for a very long time. This shit started all the way back in the cosmos whenever there was wars taking place in the cosmos where they did everything they could to try to overturn the divine feminine. Okay? That contract is up. Now the divine feminine is establishing order not only here on earth but all throughout the cosmos. That's what's happening. Because at one point in time, because earth is a female planet, it is matriarch in nature. It is matriarch in nature. It's natural, in other words. But there has been a lot of people that have taken on thought processes, ideologies, and belief systems that have no basis in what reality really is really about. And whether or not you want to respect order is irrelevant, because if you don't respect order, no problem. You're going to get your ass right on up out of here anyway. And it's not going to make a difference what you want, that shit don't even matter. Your ass is out of here. Your days are numbered. And your days are numbered because you can't see what's really going on right now because you're too caught up in your own shit. You can't see the bigger picture. Your ego won't even let you see past it. Your arrogance won't even let you see past it. You don't even have the ability to hear the coded messages that are coming out right now. You can't hear it properly. So this message is only for the people that actually have the ability to hear the message. It is not for anybody else. Now we're in a position right now where there's been, I've been keeping tabs of the earthquake maps heavy. I've been keeping tabs of just different things that are going on, just for my own knowing, to see what's going on, right? And as time continues to progress, you guys are going to see more and more things happening, and you're not going to be able to stop what's destined to happen because Earth is already splitting. The people are splitting. But let me just say this one thing. Just because you're conscious and you have some self-awareness does not give you access to the 5D. Some of you guys are actually literally born here to live out certain atonements for shit you did in your previous lifetimes. Some of you guys are supposed to suffer and come back here again because some of you guys are participating in certain activities that you didn't learn before in your previous lifetime. You're supposed to be in this lifetime either atoning or correcting your shit. How do you start that? How many times have I told you this? Go to the shadow. Then get deeper. But I'm going to tell you something. 5D Earth, if you guys seriously think that 5D Earth, that frequency, is going to be tolerating the shit that you see out here with people, you guys got another thing coming. They're going to stay right here. They ain't going nowhere. Trust and believe when I tell you they're not going nowhere. And I'm going to also pass the message out to you celebrities. Y'all can chop this video down, put it on TikTok. Y'all can specifically do this part right here, but I got to say this one thing. These so-called celebrities that are out here trying to sell your people down the drain, you sitting up here telling lies to your people, so you in bed with that devil who pays your bills, right? Okay, so let me tell you how this gonna go. You need to be careful before you find yourself at the mercy of a 14-year-old ready to take your ass right on up out of here. See, these new kids on the block that's out here right now, we call them cosmic assassins. They were born on this earth to come clean up. And I want you guys to understand something. A lot of these people that are in bed, that are putting out the wrong type of messages, not only do they not inherit 5D, their offspring will inherit 5D. They will be cursed, their offspring will be cursed, and their offspring's offspring will be cursed. That's how that's going. So decisions that you make today, your offspring will pay a price for that in the future. If they even make it through, if your line even makes it through. The children always suffer from the sins of the father. Remember that. Some of you that went out here and plotted against your people for a paycheck, your days are numbered. Mark my words, y'all. Give it to the end of this year where you're going to start seeing more of this happen, more and more of this happening. You also have these things that I told you that are landing on people's heads and also making them lose their mind, and soon they're going to lose their mind. Have you guys been noticing the people around you that's been losing their mind? Have you noticed how crazy folk been acting out here? And this even goes for you low vibrational women out here. This also goes to you too. Because some of y'all are low vibrational as hell. You're loud, you're disrespectful, and wrong. I just want to let you know you don't inherit 5D Earth either. Because the mission that all of you should be on should be, how do I get my frequency to match Earth's frequency right now? How do I get my frequency to match hers? How do I seek out higher things? How do I learn more about myself? How do I get to the next level? If that's not your focus, and your focus is being distracted with shit that is low vibrational, that don't have no nothing to nothing, well then where you're at is where you're going to remain at. And see, let me tell y'all something. I'm not for no debate, and I'm not coming out to debate with folks and argue. I'm not even with the shit. Because see, if you come at me like that, you're going to get silenced, and then you're just going to have to deal with that energy that comes from your head afterwards. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just a messenger. Getting out the message. 12 in the building. I see y'all. You got dudes out here mention my name and shit like that, and then not following through with certain shit that they saying. I see you. I see you. Oh, I see you. You see, you put yourself on my radar and forced me to look dead into you. Wasn't a good look. Not a good look. I'm not here to be anyone's friend. I'm not here for any of that type of shit. I'm in my space, and I'm in my mission, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. All the rest of that shit that everybody else is on is totally and completely irrelevant to me. I don't care. Now, let me talk about this other thing. So, y'all know I retired from the music business back in 2018. There are certain people that I really rock with that's still in the game a little bit. One of them, his name is Trey the Truth. Trey puts up, him and Tamika Mallory and a group of people decided they're going to go down to the border to see what's going on with the Haitians. Can somebody explain to me how when they got there, and Trey has the pictures up right on his Instagram, he puts the pictures up and he says something weird going on. He said, we get here, there's no Haitians. There were other families there that they went ahead and assisted, but there wasn't any Haitians. So you mean to tell me that all 15,000 people just got the hell on overnight? Is that what happened? How many times have you guys saw me put videos after videos after videos of CGI and how on the green screens and how they can create any kind of background they want to make it look like a specific way when that's not really what's going on, so they can play on your emotions because they want to play on our emotions because they utilize our emotions for their magic, right? So everybody getting caught up in the whole thing with Haiti. I didn't post the shit to my page because I knew the shit was a farce. I looked into the shit. It's a farce. And then seeing his pictures on Instagram, all that did was prove what I thought from the very beginning, that's a farce. So you mean to tell me that these folks that got on some kind of way, left their country, let's say on paddle boats, came up through South America, hit South America, traveled to get from South America all through Mexico, all the way up to get to the Texas border with no money? Who's doing that? And then on top of that, I'm just saying that the amount of heat that you're dealing with and the terrain that you're dealing with coming in through South America and then coming up the terrain and all of that shit, and you're with kids and shit, right? And you ain't got no money. How the hell did you get to the border? How did you get to the border to get inside the United States? How did you get there? Who helped you? Who assisted you? Then, when it comes out that they're all going down there, the quote-unquote Black Matters protest, quote-unquote, is going down there to possibly put together a protest, which Trey corrected them and said it was two different organizations that went down there. All of a sudden, they get there, and there's not a single Haitian there? This is the reason why I never posted anything on my page about it. This is the reason why I didn't get emotional about it. I didn't get emotional about it, and I didn't post anything about it because it's not real. There are programs that are put into place to play on our emotions, especially ours. Because see, we're so powerful with our emotions, we have the power to shut all this shit down, but because we haven't done the necessary things to work on ourselves and we're distracted by lower shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, they can take that energy and they can harness it for whatever it is that they need to harness it for. This is the reason why they're always doing stuff like this and showing police killings all the time in mainstream media and videos. And then, did you ever stop to think about those people who are constantly posting this type of shit on their Instagram? You don't see me posting this shit on my Instagram. Because I never want my people to be I don't ever want the energy of my people to be placed in victimhood. So you're going to see me put shit up about our victories. Very rarely are you going to see me put something up there that puts us in a place of victimhood. So then you got to start questioning pages like Sean King. You got to start questioning that shit. You got to start questioning all these other pages of these men that are putting up these pages of everybody, something always negative happening to our people. You have to begin to start questioning this shit because there is an energy here and a narrative here. And just because these people look like you or say that they're representing you does not mean that they're for you. There is a narrative here that's being pushed not just by mainstream media, but by people who look just like you. See, your biggest enemy actually isn't going to be the guy who doesn't look like you. Your biggest enemy is going to be the guy who acts like the guy who doesn't look like you, but he looks like you. That's your enemy. And they may not even understand how they're being utilized by the Matrix. They may not understand that because, see, the Matrix is cold. And how it decides of how it wants to operate and who it wants to affect. The Matrix is very real, and it will utilize whomever, whenever, to get out its agenda across when it comes to us as a people and keeping us in check, especially during this time period whenever we're all currently activating. Now, somebody said one day, well, what powers? Well, baby, if you are asking these types of questions, then clearly you are not on the frequency, in which case that won't happen for you. So if you're not having any experiences as such, it's not for you. Not everybody, this is not going to happen to everybody out here. There is such thing called growth. There is a such thing called maturity. There is a such thing called experiences that you need to have so it matriculates in your growth process so that you can come to certain understandings. I do not expect some of you to understand where I'm coming from. You didn't go through the experiences that I went through in my lifetime. You weren't there. Okay? So whatever experiences that you guys are having, that is what's going to assist you in ascending as long as you're able to recognize the lesson. So I am questioning, and I'm not talking down on anyone. What I'm doing is I am questioning the narrative that's being projected to us. That is what I'm doing. And everybody should be questioning the narrative that's being directed to us. Everybody should be questioning the narrative. Because you know what I'm realizing? What I'm realizing is there are people that have even hit me down here Because y'all know I live in Mexico. There are people that hit me down here talking about they heard some other shit. And I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you people are talking about. If that's going on, I don't know nothing about what you're talking about. I don't see any of that shit going on here where I'm at. I don't know what you people are talking about. So now, because the war is for your mind, we have to be ever so careful about what we discern out here. Okay? Now, sometimes I might put a post up on my Instagram and I may question something. If there's a concept that's created, you can best believe it's going to eventually come to life. There was a time of day when the concept of the smartphone was talked about back in the 90s. If y'all remember. Remember the commercial about the guy that was hiking in the mountain and he had the smartphone before the smartphones even came out? And then several years later, the smartphones started coming out? If there's a concept of something, that means regardless of who created it or why it was created, because some of you guys don't understand how this matrix works. You're too busy trying to debunk something that what I'm saying to you is going completely over your head because the shit is being put out into the ethers. In other words, there is no such thing as by accident or by mistake or they were just doing that for this or that shit doesn't exist. If I'm showing you something, I'm letting you know at some point in time, this is the direction of where it's going. Why? Because we are talking something that is hitting the collective consciousness. As soon as it's addressed out there and put out there to the public, it literally hits the energy of the collective consciousness. Then what happens with the collective consciousness? We start talking about it, then it ends up manifesting itself. Remember I told you guys that your mind was technology? Remember that?